the word promise, the word commitment, these things are broken, you know, like twigs in the forest. Families break these things. People break these ideas at work all the time. We wanted something with more obligatory weight. That was the terminology we use in the book, obligatory weight. The covenant is not a religious thing. It's a small c. So it's got, you know, no spiritual dimensions or anything. It's not a blood oath or anything, but it is a promise. It is a obligation that we take on with our personal integrity and our professional integrity. It's a matter of both personal and professional. And look, people are human beings. They'll sign up for these 10-item lists and say, you know, I'm going to do my very best to live up to this, you know, Wanda, so that I can help you feel supported and be successful. I'm going to make mistakes. And the process is built in to allow for the apology, the reparation, the, you know, the hit the reset button and move forward and not hold grudges or grievance. That's actually an important part of the process.
So walk us through the process. So you said already you gave an example of you write it down what you're expecting and the other person writes down, but explain how this process all goes.
So let's take the example of a team and let's say 5 people, let's keep it small and simple, and a manager, he or she, it doesn't matter the context. So if they were going through this, they would allocate 2.5 hours, ideally in person, but it could be done virtually too. I would argue hard in today's world that it should start in person and then it can naturally go to virtual. But what they do is the manager outlines, here's what I believe I owe my team to help them feel supported and be successful. So I owe them coaching, I owe them resources, I owe them timely information, I owe them trusted empowerment, I owe them understanding of their personal lives, I owe them recognition when they do great work, I owe them opportunities to come together and, you know, be together as a team and, you know, communicate in person and that kind of stuff. And the team in turn does a mirror image. Here's what we expect from you, boss, in order for us to feel supported and be successful. And think about that. Here's what I owe. Here's what we expect. You look at those 2 lists and guess what? You sure hope they overlap, and they typically do. Okay, having done this a zillion times, there's usually about 70% overlap. The words are a little different, but there's 70% overlap in basic concept. And the process then goes to, let's compare, contrast, let's discuss the differences, let's merge. So, you know, we present, we make sure the other side is totally aware of where we're coming from, and then we combine and refine, creating one list, and then we confirm and sign, and so that is signed now by the manager. So that's his or her covenant to the team. Then we reverse the process, right? The team then presents its list of here's what we owe our manager to help him or her feel supported and be successful. And the manager has his or her list of here's what I expect so that I will feel supported and be successful. And again, you compare and contrast, you combine and refine those 2 lists, and you confirm and sign. So that all takes about 2.5 hours. This is why I'm really passionate about this process, because, you know, if I had a quarter for every time when I present this, the team, oh, we haven't got 2 hours, or we haven't got 3, or this sounds really timed. If you haven't got 2.5 hours to establish the boundaries and the ground rules and what's going to make your most important work relationships successful, I would argue you've got your priorities mixed up. Because once it's done, it's done. At that point, it's in the review stage. Once you've established these 2 lists and signed them, you're now at the point where you can look at it yourself and reflect on it. You can talk about it with your partner. As a team and a manager, it's reviewed about every 3 months, and that can take as much as 90 minutes, as little as 20. But it's a way to ensure course correction. I like the term micro adjustment. You know, we've heard the term microaggression. Right. I want to use the term micro adjustment, because with the covenant and with the 2-way exchange of feedback, which always starts with how am I doing? You know, as a team, how do we think we're doing supporting you, boss? And we think we're doing 8 of the 10 things well, but we know we could improve on 2. And the manager gets to comment on that and then give his or her feedback to the team. And then in turn, the manager says, okay, you know, I've got these 10 items and I think I'm doing 6 of them pretty well, but I think I could improve on 4. And then the team says, actually, manager, you're hard on yourself. We think you're doing 8 pretty well. It's only these 2 we want you to improve. Well, hearing that feedback and giving yourself feedback and sharing it is the opportunity for both sides to say, okay, you know, it was 3 months ago we last checked in. What do we need to do to make sure the next 3 months is even better than the last 3 months?